Hi, my name is Dan Schmitt. It's the Team Chicago Challenge. We're at beautiful Grattan Raceway. Grattan Raceway is located about 15 miles northeast of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've been involved with Grattan Raceway going back into the 80s when I got into road racing. And this is quite the racetrack. It's a great racetrack, great layout, but we had a little bit of a problem. We'll be talking about that a little bit later during the race, because when I'm got the helmet cam, I'll show you where the problem was. It may be solved. They got a bad batch of sealer, they put it down, and it's sort of ruined the weekend almost. But we may be able to salvage this race. Instead of a 6-hour, it's only going to be a 4-hour Bridgestone WERA National Endurance at Grattan Raceway. And I'm not riding the Yamaha, I'm riding Phil's Kawasaki. So it's going to be the three amigos. It's Phil Young, it's Eric Konigsberg, and myself riding the three amigos, the three musketeers riding number 46, the Kawasaki. So let's see the beginning of this 4-hour National Endurance Grattan Raceway. Let's see how Team Bear, Team Kawasaki does for this first 2 hours. You see Eric at Grattan Raceway. This is only the second race for Team Chicago. The 2010 season. I've spent the early part of this year being politically involved, trying to save this country, save the city, save the state from the madness. And this is an example of what happens when the government's out of control. The economy is faltering. Not a clue in Washington on how to turn the economy around. The economy is not great. We went to the recession because of the mortgages. But when you put goofs in power, this is what happens. They don't even have a clue. The way to make jobs, the way for jobs to come back, is people have got to manufacture. That's what made America great. As Eric lines up, Team Bear, Team Chicago, Kawasaki, 4 and 6. So we wait for the start from Dan Durham. The green flag flies. Eric gets a good launch, passes a few bikes down the straightaway. Heading in the first corner at Grattan Raceway. The Team Bear, Team Chicago, Eric Konigsberg, helmet cam, running through the first corner. Up front, it is Team Zyvex. Team Zyvex has dominated the 2010 season. He hooked up with Graves Motorsport. Zyvex and Graves Motorsport on Yamaha. They got an R1 and an R6. They got two great teams, great riders. We'll be talking about some of the riders later on. They head towards the famous Grattan Hump. Up front, it is Dane Westby. Dane Westby, a go-fast rider out of Texas. He is on the R6, Zyvex R6. He's ahead of the R1 of Zyvex as we wait for Eric to come flashing through. Eric Konigsberg on the Team Bear. Kawasaki's head down towards the hairpin. Eric really flies out here, but there is a problem. Instead of running Dunlops, they went to Michelin tires. And the outer circumference and the diameter between the Michelins and the Dunlops is different. This has thrown off the suspension on the Team Bear Kawasaki. Eric's going to have to come in for an adjustment. This is not great. Eric generally runs much faster than this. Last year on the Team Bear Kawasaki, he was flat flying and passing everybody in sight. Eric knows his way around Grattan Raceway. He loves to ride with Kawasaki. Normally he's got an SV 650, ran the Endurance Series a few years ago. Look at coming over to jump, both wheels in the air. That was Dane Westby on the Zyvex. In fact, we're going to slow it down. And we're going to look at it again. So look at it very quickly as we go to slow motion. Both wheels in the air. You can see him coming down front wheel first, back wheel, braking, and heading into the S's at Grattan Raceway. Dane Westby. He's a go-fast guy. Zyvex Racing as we join Eric one more time on the team there. Dane Westby continues to lead. Second place, looks like that Zyvex R1. Hooters on the 1000s running in third. As we follow Hooters, Zyvex 1 and 2, Hooters and Apex has moved up there. Hooters had problem with their R6, their middle class superbike, so they are on the Suzuki. They're not running bike number 21, but they're running bike number 71. They head on the front straightaway. Earlier, I had a chance to talk to some of these riders in the pits. We're going to go talk to Clinton Sellers, David Thompson, Phil Young, Joe Shuck, Jimmy Van der Hard, and David Gray as Eric heads down the front straightaway.
My name's Clinton Seller, riding for the Zyvex Grays Yamaha team. Yesterday track was really slippery, and this morning also pretty slippery. Turn one was good, turn 2 and 3, but it seems more and more bikes on it. It's kind of coming to the riders, so that's pretty decent. It's going to make for a lot easier 4-hour race. But I must say, track layout's really, really fun. It's a cool racetrack. Something similar in South Africa, so I'm pretty much enjoying it. We're going to have Dane Westby going out first in our first stint. It'll be myself and then Jason DeSalvo. So 3 pretty good riders, I hope. And yeah, it should be a good fun race.
David Thompson, we're RCD Racing from Las Vegas, Nevada. We're a long way from home. We're missing a crew member. We're running with no pit crew and 1 rider short.
You see a 4th of July weekend here at Grattan, and of course, as usual, it's always nice to be out 4th of July, but not that many teams can show up. Weather's going to be fantastic for us. We've had an interesting story about the prep work on the racetrack and the track surface. That's really been a challenge. A lot of people were having some problems out there with grip. But it's going to be fun to watch. You know, we got some top teams out here. Graves Yamaha. We're going to see Ben Bostrom. We're going to see Jason DeSalvo. We're going to see Curtis Roberts is out here. That's going to be kind of fun to see.
Hi, my name is Joe Shook. I'm with Bluegrass Motorsports Park Racing. This is Grattan 2010 National Endurance Series. We came up here to try to catch up on some points that we missed from Miller. We had some motor problems with our bike at Talladega. We couldn't make it to Miller, so we came here to battle it out, and it looks like it's a real slow turnout here. You know, my teammate Steve Johnson's going to ride it with us. We're going to run the SV650 and the lightweight superbike.
Jimmy Van der Haar, ride with Team Velocity Racing, and the track is not in the best shape it's ever been in, but I guess it could be worse. It's a little slippy on the outside of turn 3, but I'm looking forward to not starting and watching other people fight through it, and you know, hanging out, having a good 4 hours.
David Gray here from Apex Manufacturing, Sport Bike Track Time, and Michelin Tire Service. Just we're getting ready to do an endurance race, 4-hour endurance race at Grattan Raceway. Apex MFG is a clip-ons manufacturer. We do these trick tables as well for work situations. We're just gonna have some fun and do what we do every year for the Grattan National and have a little fun with that.
Yes, it is nearly a perfect day as we see Dane Westby go flashing by. That R6 Yamaha is leading this race ahead of its teammate. The teammate's on an R1, but this is a 600 Yamaha. Zyvex, Graves Motorsports, leading the race. Flashing by now is number, I believe that was 71. That's the Suzuki 600 of Hooters. Hooters generally rides a 600 Yamaha. They had problems with that bike. They're on the 600 Suzuki. So they are running in 7th place with the 600 Suzuki. As we see Joe Shook on that Bluegrass Motorsport Suzuki SV650. We now see flashing by TVR 131 and Apex Racing, the local heroes. Apex Racing sponsored by Apex Manufacturing, Sport Bike Track Time. TVR 131 is running at R6. TVR 131 is with Chuck Ivey, Jimmy Van der Hard, and Scott Brown. They're sponsored by EBC, Arrive, Votex, and Michelin. We join Eric Konigsberg one more time. Eric Konigsberg, Cam, Team Baird, heading uphill to turn 10 and onto the front straightaway one more time. Eric's having a great time, but there is a problem with the suspension. So Eric is going to head back into the pits. They're going to do a little adjustment. Like I said, the bike was set up for Dunlop tires. They went with Michelin's at this event. The Michelin's are a little bit bigger on the circumference, diameter, so they're setting the suspension softer, trying to reduce the height. Flashing by now on the front straightaway is at Hooters Apex Road Racing 1, number 12 bike. That's the 1000. Looks like Tim Hunt's still on the bike. Sponsored by Hooters, Dunlop, Race Tech. They are running in third place, running a good solid race. As we get into the second hour, coming out of the pits after making a pit stop, that is Zyvex, team number 3, Zyvex, sponsored by Zyvex, Grays Motorsport, and Dunlop, as Eric Konigsberg takes the team there, TC. Eric Konigsberg, Cam, 4 and 6, Mac Daddy Racing, Kawasaki back out to do battle. And we're going to talk to Phil Young and see what he was in the pits all about. So Phil, what's the problem with the pit stop? Tell me a little bit what's going on.
We're having a little struggle with the bike. One of the things that we did do was we usually run Dunlop tires, but we decided to try Michelin's. We haven't had them for a long time. And the tire diameters make a difference, so we had to put some adjustments into the chassis to try and make the bike turn.
In the pits now, looks like Hooters is heading in the pits. That's Hooters number 12. Coming down the front straightaway, flying out there is TVR 131. That is Chuck Ivey, Scott Brown, Jimmy Van der Hard making this 4-hour race. The race has been reduced to 4 hours. TVR 131 that did win the championship a few years ago, the overall championship. And they're sponsored by EBC, Arrive, Votex, Michelin on that 1000 R1. Eric to come in. He's been out there 1 hour and 20 minutes, not counting the pit stop. Each of us, Eric is doing the first hour, 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm doing the second 1 hour and 20 minutes. And Phil Young will end up with the final 1 hour and 20 minutes. He pulls up. I believe Eric is going to tell him we need another suspension change. Take some more spring out of that back shock. Phil, Joe Ball, a couple other guys. We had put together a great pit crew to get all the work done. I didn't get everybody's name. I'm sorry. See how Team Bear, Team Chicago will do at Grattan Raceway as I blast out of the pit. We're going to take a look at Grattan Raceway. Here's the front straightaway. Do not cross the yellow line. Heading in first corner. Now they put sealer down the first corner. You had to be a little bit careful. It didn't cover the whole corner here. I'm staying on the inside in case there's any fast bikes coming along. Heading over to turn 2. 2 hours of racing at Grattan Raceway. It is Zyvex on the 600. Zyvex R6 is first. Zyvex R1 is second. Hooters is third. Apex Road Manufacturing, the local heroes, are running in fourth. TVR 131 is fifth. Team Heron is sixth. Hooters Apex 2 on the 600 Suzuki running seventh. RCD Racing Lucas Oils is eighth. Team Chicago, we're ninth, and 10th is Bluegrass Motorsport Park. I'm coming up right now on the Bluegrass Motorsports SB. I'm going to try to sneak by him as we come to the famous Grattan Hump. Go over the hump into the S's. The handling feels a little bit better, I guess. In practice, the bike was okay to me, but I think there might have been the Dunlop tires on it in practice. And I think the bike is working pretty good. 71 is the other Hooters team. They had problems with their R6. They are on their 600 Suzuki. They are running in 7th place. As we see, the Hooters 1000 battling with Team Heron. Now, Team Heron's a California team. Young riders. You got Zach Heron, Peyton Sassaman, and Benny Solers. They are sponsored by Graves Motorsport Dunlop. Right with them from Las Vegas. I'm calling them a Las Vegas team. It's RCD Racing, Lucas Oil. We have got Dave Thomas and Charles Strong, I believe, on the RC Racing Lucas Oils. Heading down the front straightaway. They are running in 8th place. Continue on, meeting the challenge of Grattan Raceway, the Team Chicago, Team Bear, Michelin Tires, as I head up onto the front straightaway through turn 10A and B, down the 3,000-foot front straightaway. As we get into the 3rd hour racing, been a change for the 4th position, TVR 131. It is Chuck Ivy's team, 131 on the R1 Yamaha, has gotten past Apex Manufacturing. They are now running in 4th place. They got a lap over Apex, the local heroes. Apex is in the pits. Their pit stops are a little bit slow when you compare them to TVR 131. Chuck Ivy with TVR has won the national title, the National WERA Championship a few years ago, so they know about endurance. These guys don't even have a quick can, and they're only putting in enough fuel for each stent. So they continue to change riders, all go fast. Local Michigan riders, they have dropped back to 5th place. Up front is still Team Zyvex on the R6, Team Zyvex on R1 second. Hooters is still in 3rd place. As I come by one more time, you see me running all the way on the inside of turn 3. I want no part of that sealer on the outside. Oh, a bike is down, slid out, and you might have seen it on the outside there. Going by around me, that is the leaders, and they have changed riders up front now. Riding, it is now the world famous, that's right, Jason DeSavo. An old friend of mine just got by on the R6 from Team Zybex, but the bike that went down from Las Vegas was that RCD Racing Lucas Oil sliding out. Not doing much damage, but they slid out in turn 3 in the sealer. In the pits now, Scott Brown was on the TVR 131 R1. He also has slid off in turn 3, but he just basically did a 180, spun the bike around, dropped it at about 1 mile an hour. They're bringing it back in to check if there's any damage. And that TVR 131 R1, we now are watching the R1 of Zyvex Racing. They're running in 2nd place overall, 1st in that heavyweight class. 1 hour and 20 minutes left in the race. I'm going to be turned over to the owner of the bike, Phil Young. Phil Young from Team Bear. His helmet cam's ready. My helmet cam's been working pretty good out here at Grattan Raceway, bringing you all the great action.
Drop your rag. Drop your rag.
Team Chicago, well known as Helmet Cam City. Phil gets on. The front tires working pretty good. I take a look at it. I said, no problem with the tires, Phil. As we see Hooters and Heron. Heron is running in 6th place. Hooters is running in 7th place. So Hooters is trying to get around Heron to pick up a position here. But Hooters is on that 600 Suzuki, flashing down the front straightaway. That is Jason DeSavo. Yes, Jason DeSavo, many, many years ago. The guy used to run the 125s, running with the WERA Series, and went on factory Yamaha, and now he's down working with Zyvex having a good time running the Yamaha R6 for Zyvex. JB Lehman, we got to mention, JB Lehman is Zyvex Racing. He is not racing. He is running this crew, these two teams.
As we join Phil Young on the Team Bear, Team Chicago 1000 Kawasaki. Heading over to turn 3, you have to stay on the inside. The Siegler problem was turn 1, 2, and 3. Heads to the fast right-hander towards the Grattan hump, world famous Grattan hump. Now he's running into the S's, right, left, right. They'll take him over to the bowl. They're having a great race. Grattan Raceway, maybe one of the most beautiful racetracks in the country. It's a great day for a race. The weather is great. We're in the back 40 now, which is 2 dog legs to the right. They'll take us down to the hairpin. And uphill to the front straightaway.
Flashing down the front straightaway. That looks like Heron Racing. Heron Racing, the youngsters out of California. Let's see, are they all from California? No, I don't think so. But Heron Racing is sponsored by Graves Motorsport, Dunlop, Votech. You got Peyton Sassman from Georgia, Benny Salas Jr., and Zach Heron. We see Apex. Apex is moving up to 4th place again, the local heroes on their R6 Yamaha. We're in the pits now. It is Team Zyvex. One of the Bostrom brothers is getting off the bike. Getting on the bike now is Christopher Clark. They're sponsored by Graves Motorsport, Dunlop, Zyvex. Zyvex is a release formula for plastic molding, and they are located in L&J, Georgia. Mr. Clark's on the bike, 2nd place. This is their last pit stop, but I'm going to get the last report. I'm going to talk to Eric Konigsberg, Chuck Ivey, the Apex crew, and Bluegrass's Joe Shuck.
Team Chicago's been fighting a little tire handling problem, but I think we've got it sorted out. The bike seems to be working a little better. Phil's on the bike right now.
The situation is Scott just fell down, but I think he saved it from being any worse than it could have been. I think he hurt his leg a little bit, so he's going to do a few laps, and we're going to put Jimmy back out to hopefully finish the race.
Awesome. Good, buddy.
Couldn't be happy.
Where are you running?
We're still in it. 2nd and 4th.
2nd in class, 4th overall?
Yep.
Yes.
Who's on the bike now?
Kevin Calloway.
Yep.
Is they going to run, finish it? You can make one more pit or
We're
what?
gonna make one more pit.
One more pit?
Yep.
Good
About
show.
15 minutes.
From the last time I talked to you, we got our rear tire changed. Been passing a couple bikes out there. I thought I've seen you out there a couple times.
Yeah.
I think my teammate and you were dicing back and forth, which seemed like a pretty good time. Bike feels good. It's
Hooters on the 600 Suzuki comes flashing by, and it's the other Hooters team. And we see that RCD Racing, the team out of Las Vegas. As Hooters heads into the pits, this is their final pit stop. Skip will be turning the bike over to Tim Hunt, taking on fuel.
Yeah, awesome.
Boy, looks like they're going to stick with the tires. No tire changes. Taking on fuel, running heavyweight superbike, running 2nd in class, 3rd overall. Tim Hunt's going to take it over. Tim Hunt is the guy that maintains these engines. And as we get into the last few minutes of this race, we're going to give you a rundown one more time. 4 hours, the Bridgestone WERA flashing by the camera right now. That is Team Heron Racing. They are running in 6th place. They get by Bluegrass Motorsport. Bluegrass is running in 10th place, but they are leading the lightweight superbike class. They are picking up very valuable points. That's Joe Shuck out there picking up the important points. Leading, that is Dane Westby. Up front, Team Zyvex. Team Zyvex R6, L&J, Georgia. Graves Motorsport, 2nd place. Team Zyvex R1, Dunlop Tires. 3rd place, Hooters, Apex Road Racing. Tim Hunt running a good, solid race. 4th place, Apex Manufacturing, the local heroes out of the Grand Rapids area. 5th place, Jimmy Vanderhart on that TVR 131 R1 Yamaha. 6th place, Heron Racing R6 Yamaha. Heron Racing running 3rd in that middleweight superbike class. Hooters on the Suzuki flashing by, running in 7th place. Phil Young on the Team Bear, Team Chicago. Michelin Tires, 4 and 6 prepared, running in 8th place as the checkered flag flies. 9th place is RCD Racing. Lucas Oil, Dan Durham flashing the checkered flag. Signal in the end, the 4 hours.
WERA National Endurance. It is Dane Westby and Jason DeSavo picking up the win. Zyvex Yamaha R6 at beautiful Grattan Raceway, one of the finest road courses in the country. For more information on WERA, America's road race leader, their website is WERA.com. For Grattan Raceway, their website is Grattan Raceway Park mx.com. Contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. I love to hear from my audience. Remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing, or you can search on Rumble with Dan Schmitt TV for great motorcycle racing action. And I highly recommend that you visit the World of Motorcycle Museum. Just off Indiana 39, it's in Winnemac, and that's 4 miles south of North Judson. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It is a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles.